Ladies and gentlemen, K-Kim here. Welcome to the daily update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is down 0.6% on the S&P. I think NASDAQ is around 0.8. Banks around 1%. Pretty much all across the board, all the indices less than 1%, more than 0.6% kind of day today. So it was a down day, continuation from the move that we saw yesterday. Just to do a quick follow-up, yesterday we talked about this inverted hammer candle yesterday. You know, we talked about potentially seeing that reversal, but it needs to hold above this level for 2 hours. Remember we talked about that? Well, first hour we did see a gap up slightly, and buyers made a run for it, but you can see we were not able to hold above that micro-term pivot to get any kind of traction to the upside. And you can see on the second hour, when buyers trying to get it up again, well, that resistance been holding for several hours in this morning's session. Well, that got rejected, and then once that got rejected here, and this, as you can see, is an important pivot. That's a prior support acting as a resistance here, and then once we're not able to advance above 350.80 level, bears rushed in, came down, and that was the hour, right? That's, you can see here, first hour, second hour, third hour, we came and filled this gap. The gap got filled, and we talked about it yesterday. When the gap gets filled, it's going to act as support, and that was it. Once that gap was filled, I think that was done for the day. So you can see that was third hour, we filled that gap. Fourth hour, we stayed pretty much sideways. Fifth hour, sixth hour, you can see we just moved sideways once the gap got filled. Price wasn't going anywhere. Buyers made an attempt to make a move though towards last hour, but I think at the time my short-term moving average that I've been acting as potentially support here, and then it started, you can see that squiggly line that is rising here while now it's declining. So on the last hour, made a move, short-term moving average falling back, found some resistance, pulled right back, and just ended the day pretty much same level as when it first got, you know, when the price first filled the gap here. And so we're hanging around at 346 or 348 at close, but once that gap got filled, that acted as support, and we weren't going anywhere after that. So let's zoom out, trying to figure out where we're at in the overall picture here. So when we zoom out on my chart, you can see that 346 is kind of an important level, because last time when we saw this market plunge here, you saw that that was a little swing high, and that's that first lower high there, and that's where we're finding support currently, coinciding with the gap fill area, which is 346. I think very important level would be like 342.72. 340-ish level. This is very, very important pivot. That's an ideal level. This is probably what a lot of people are looking at for potentially strong support. You can see that. And that's the kind of the breakout level that we've been talking about, right? That's the breakout level that we talked about last week. Excuse me. And then we broke out, and now we're finding support 346. So, you know, we talked about over the weekend that how market likes to bounce either early or late, but never an ideal level. Well, I think there's a good chance that we may find some support here since the gap has been filled. But I think, first of all, there's this support, that gap fill support and prior swing high there. And then we have another support, which is this gap that needs to go through 345. So I think there's a lot of support that needs to go through. So I'm not sure as of today if we're going to come down here to fill the gap at 3-4 or you retest that level. That's a pretty strong pivotal level and pretty, you know, prominent pivot level there. So I think if we do come down there, and that's probably going to, you know, provide us a strong support. Not to mention, not only that's a strong pivot, prior resistance. That's what I mean when I say pivot. It means it was resistance before, potentially a new support there. Not only that's a pivot, That's the level coinciding with the gap. Not only that, my midterm moving average is residing right on that gap area. So there's kind of a triple support there. We got gap support, pivot support, and the midterm moving average. Midterm moving average still rising, right? So as of today, we want to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers in the midterm. But in the short term, I think with the price below my short-term moving average, that's what acted as support last hour. But we're holding above, we're kind of held there as of today as the last hour, and the gap got filled. That's a potential support. So I'm gonna do more of a neutral stance in the short term, because I'm not sure if the market is gonna bounce tomorrow or we're gonna see a further decline. The best bet for the bears is gapping it down because we're right on that support. If we do see any kind of strength in the first 2 hours, and you can see, you know, in the first 2 hours, if we do see a strength tomorrow morning, it needs to hold above that micro term pivot, which is 349.20. That's a prior support, and then, you know, potentially new resistance there. So if we do see a move to the upside, that has to be a first hour to hold above that 349.20. And then on the second hour, either you retest or not, needs to hold above 349.20 or 30 if we wants to find any kind of traction to the upside. If we do see some kind of a, you know, move like this, like today, where we're not able to hold above that short-term pivot, we're probably going to see maybe move and then puke again, right? So that will be important how the market plays out tomorrow early morning. Let's check out that oscillator here. So oscillator, what it oscillates tells us that it is we're entering into that oversold level now that it is, you know, touching that bottom of its band. But if bears really want to push a little more, they actually got a little room here. You can see they did that back in like September 21st. You can see this was that entering that oversold zone, but it kept pushing lower. You can see that. And then market actually did come down lower at the time. So there is actually a little bit of room. Bears got a little bit of energy actually left if they want to utilize it. So either bears push little further tomorrow, and then because bears are entering into that oversold vicinity, oversold zone, it will be better if you don't let the buyers kind of play around in the first couple of hours, because if they can bring it right back up. What bears want to see is continuation, gapping it down, or like first hour pop or something like that, but quickly get sold off and then continue to lower and go down and fill this gap. Again, obviously gap down will be the best bet to jumpstart that thing, because as you can see, bears don't have much room to move. So just grinding lower, inevitably, that's gonna make buyers take advantage of that because bears are tired at this point. So, and I think it's a good thing for the bears that they actually brought it down, not letting this oscillate more at the top of its band. Then I think buyers could have really gathered some momentum to go to 357. So I think that's a good thing that bears brought it down along with the oscillator. It wasn't correcting through time. We did correct through price. You can see corrected through price while the oscillator is coming down. We didn't see a whole lot of sideways move. It wasn't a huge decline, but we definitely did continue to see a weakness in the last couple of days. So bears are looking to continue in that short-term trend. Buyers trying to find some kind of a reversal activities tomorrow morning. But it's very important. First 2 hours, you'll know. I talked about that level there. First 2 hours, you'll know if you can have to stay true in the first few hours with the bullish momentum holding above my short-term moving average, currently residing at 349.20 or so, then I think there's a good chance buyers can try to bring it up. If not, bears probably going to continue with that. So we're kind of in that juncture where price is trying to find, you know, potential support level. We have no idea as of today if 33.46 is gonna find support, or is it gonna come down to 342, 343? So that's what we're dealing with. Yes, we are near oversold, but we got some buy bears can really utilize a little more. They can truly push it a little more if they want to. So we'll have a better idea going into tomorrow. I'll come back for you guys tomorrow night. I'll reassess the situation. We'll go from there. Enjoy your evening and good luck trading tomorrow.